Welcome to this lesson, everyone. I just wanted to say real quick, on your dashboard or in your templates, if you scroll down, you should see assigning value to inner voice categories, and you should be able to follow along for this lesson in there. Thank you. Alrighty, let's talk about assigning value to our inner voice categories. We need to assign value so we can make sure that we work through these in a efficient but also in a manner which hopefully some problems solve themselves. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is come in here and go under each one of my categories, make a heading 2 so it's a little bit smaller of a font, and then I'm going to type in value with a little colon, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this across all the rest of them real quick. So just grab that using Command C or Control C if you have Windows. All right. So what I would do next is ask a series of questions. I'll give you some example questions to ask and go through the example with you. Assigning value to your inner voice categories is a relative, or it's a very personal process to you, right? But I want to start with a solid foundation here, okay? So on the screen, you'll see Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, and if you haven't, don't worry, I had to Google it again to even remember and spell the guy's name wrong. And here we go. Maslow's, you can see I spelled it wrong. Hierarchy of needs is a psychological theory that outlines human needs in a hierarchical order, starting with the most basic physiological needs like food and water, progressing to the safety needs, then love and belonging, esteem, and finally reaching self-actualization at the top, meaning fulfilling one's potential, essentially suggesting that lower needs must be met before moving on to higher needs in the hierarchy. Full disclosure, to the best of my understanding, this has been proven to be partially true. Everybody has different personal, cultural needs that they assign to these values in different places. However, the reason why I think this is still a good foundation is because the bottom two of these right here are some of the most important. If you don't have these, then you're in crisis mode. Okay, that's what I call crisis mode. Crisis mode is essentially where I can only see my feet in front of my face, and that's maybe all I can see. My emotions are off the charts. Even if I'm able to function logically, like I have very little cognitive load ability. Like I can't think a lot throughout the day as much as I normally am because I'm dealing with something very stressful, very traumatic. And mainly, I've also noticed in my life, whenever I've ran into have serious money problems or something like that, it triggers that. So I really want to focus here. If any of your inner voice categories have an issue in your physiological needs, or your safety needs, okay, then we need to tackle those first. So as a personal example, I wouldn't put reproduction in my first rung of things. I think that actually goes a little bit higher. But mainly it's air, water, and this is saying, oh, obviously we have air, we have water. It means clean access to such. If we don't have clean access to water, food, shelter, more importantly, a place to stay, the money that pays for all of that in this society, by the way, that's why money's involved in this. Sleep, clothing. All right. And then next, personal security. Yeah. Think about if your life's in danger or something like that. Or I'm sure people, like I have had friends that have had stalkers, and it is fucking harrowing. And that will completely rob you of a lot of your energy. Employment, because again, to get the money. Resources, yeah, money, anything you could think of with resources. Health and property is less so. Anyways, look, this isn't to say that the next level of love and belonging isn't more important to some people. Some people may value their family more above everything else. On top of that, I would say that respect, self-esteem, and even some of these in the top might be a little bit more important, but the self-esteem or the self-respect or these inner voice things clearly is the source where everything starts from. However, I believe this is talking more about external to you instead of the internal of what we're working on right now. But please take a second to look over this chart here and to see if any of this starts to make sense to you. You do not have to have all of the answers right now, and it doesn't all have to come from the logical side of your brain. This can come from the intuition side as well. The point is that you sit there and try to understand it better, build a better mental model on it, test it, and then go from there. That's all life is. Nobody wakes up one day and then just has the perfect mental model on how their brain works or how their inner voice needs to function or where that functions in their mind, unless you have some divine inspiration or something like that. It ain't gonna happen. Let's take a second to look through these and see if any of these things make sense. But based upon what we've learned from this and what I know is that right now there was a lot of my topics that were related to work and feeling too busy, which is very interesting to me because that involves making money. And right now, I would say that because I need to keep moving with work, that work to me is an extremely high value. And I know that based on other personal reasons, such as what my goals are, what I'm working on, what I have been working on, other things. Feeling too busy. Let's see here. How is this? It's making me anxious throughout the day. And that's affecting, and see, that's interesting. Like these two different things. And this is what I was talking about is, okay, where do these two things intersect? And I have another question up here that is related to this is, when does your day really feel like it starts to take a tumble? I believe in a previous video I said that I work usually in the afternoon, but feeling too busy, I'm trying to see where my day really starts to get. I think that the feeling too busy is because I don't have a proper inner voice with work. Because if I had a proper set of expectations, inner voice with it, and like habits to go alongside of it, I believe that it would actually take away the feeling too busy. So feeling too busy is still of a very high value to me, but now I'm looking at work more just to be like, okay, I think that one's going to solve the problem below it. Or if I pay attention while I'm solving that problem, then it'll go there. And here's the thing, social to me, honestly, if it's a PTA meeting and I had kids, I don't have kids, then it would be more high value to me, I'm assuming. But I don't, so I'm just like, all right, that's medium value. So I'm not even focused on that right now. And now I'm starting to really focus on my work inner voice and what's going on there. Anyways, moving on. Let's ask a few more of these questions. And also I just wanted to show you, that was actually me going through and trying to work this out internally. It's seeing patterns, connecting them. It's a very organic process and should feel as such. There is no right or wrong way. Just try it. Is there something that's interrupting your morning? I mention mornings because I've realized that if my morning starts off shitty or I don't control my mornings, everything goes to shit. So if there's inner voice issues, or if there's a habit in the morning, or if there's a external stimuli in the morning that is messing me up, I'll look for that. And again, you probably saw, I was like sitting there, was like, where does my day really start to take a tumble? And that's my mornings. So that's what I was asking earlier. Is there something that is stopping you from resting or enjoying yourself as you please? Yes, the feeling too busy, but that's because of work. Based upon this, you can see how now I'm starting to value these things. And you may, and probably will, already have an intuitive sense of how you value these things. Usually people do. However, we're assigning value not only for the value to you, but understanding choosing your first category and why you should choose that. So in this case, I would choose work, and I would focus on that as my category for the first week because that should be solving most of the other problems. It's the one in the morning that kicks off a lot of other issues. If I just take a week to focus on that and then reassess after the week, I think that's a really good plan. All right.